Hello people, it's your boy Usmaan back again with another video. Manchester United play West Ham at Old Trafford. 2 games to decide Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's career. Is he going to get his top 4 or is he going to fall short? That's it. This is all that matters. Whatever has happened prior to this game is irrelevant now. We're in a situation that is comfortably in our own hands. We just need 2 draws from the last 2 games of top 4 is ours. Of course, we need to show, we need to have a good performance against West Ham. But even saying that, we literally just need 2 points from these 2 games and we're in the top 4. Was, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very confident as usual.
That's just standard, isn't it? I'm not confident.
Yeah.
Let me know how you guys are feeling. Let us know how you guys are feeling in the comment sections down below. But before you do that, make sure you drop a like because it really helps out the video, and also subscribe. Can't even get my bloody words out today. Subscribe. We're trying to get to 400 subscribers. As I've said in the past, we really do appreciate all the support, and it helps us continue to make daily content with the love that you guys show, because it does make a difference to us reading the comments. Anyways, let's get into it. Man United v West Ham, huge game for us. As we know, Leicester lost to Tottenham Hotspur and also lost 3-0, which not only means we're on the same points, but it actually means we've clawed back that goal difference, which was ridiculous. I think it was at plus 14 at one stage, or even higher. I think it must have been higher at one stage, but just ridiculous in terms of how things are panning out for us. Yes, we are disappointed by the Chelsea game. Check out the podcast from yesterday where we reacted with Jack and Benji. Obviously, they had a lot to say. And also, check out the fan cams as well if you want to get our opinions on that. We're not going to dwell on the Chelsea game. We're going to look forward and we're going to look towards the West Ham game. So, whilst first and foremost, you're saying you're confident going into this game, I'm sure a lot of United fans probably can't share that sentiment. What is the reason for you being so confident going into this game?
Well, we weren't playing too bad in the last couple of games. And obviously, the last 2 games before Chelsea, there was a bit of a drop-off with a slow start and all that. But then again, if we revert back to our previous winning formation with the 4-3-3, and don't play that 5 at the back, and play positive with the right personnel, right players in the right places. Probably need Luke Shaw back as well, hopefully.
Is Luke Shaw fit? Sorry, I didn't catch. I've not looked up
wasn't much on the press conference. He didn't give much away. I don't think he was asked if.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There wasn't anything that I see.
Mentioned was Eric Bailly was okay. Yeah. That's it. He'll be out for the season now. But I presume Luke Shaw should be back. He might have been rested against Chelsea because I think he was okay then.
And he hasn't said anything, so I don't actually know.
Need him back. But the main thing I wanted to say is, not only do we need a win, we need a reaction from Harry Maguire, Ole as the manager as well, to revert back to what the winning formula was, what he was previous to this Chelsea game. Yeah. And we need to come out of the traps firing. There's no excuses. You're professionals. You pay crazy money. Do you know what I mean? We got a good team. We got Bruno. We got Pogba. We got everything. Everything's at disposal. Yeah, disposal.
Yeah.
And so we have no excuses. We have absolutely no excuses. And the front 3 are firing anyway. So It's all, for me, I don't know, I think I'm talking too much. But I mean, for me, I think the main person in this game is going to be Nemanja Matic. If he gets pressed like he did against Southampton and Chelsea and maybe a bit Palace as well, then nothing, because he's like the bridge for the Bruno and Pogba. We know that. And then they can distribute to the strikers as well. If he gets pressed and they do what the previous teams have done against us, stifled us basically, then we're going to struggle. We have to find another way around that as well to beat their press, to get the ball over the top to someone like Bruno, and then he can provide, because then they should leave space. But I don't think West Ham are that kind of team that can press like the likes of Chelsea and stuff like that. So I'm confident. I'm really confident. I think we've got the players. We have to have the reaction. The reaction has to be huge.
Well, to be fair, listen to you made me confident. I could just listen to you for the rest of the video. And no, to be fair, you've got to play at the end of the day. Granted, yes, it wasn't a good performance against Chelsea. I'm not going to say it's an anomaly, because we've definitely not performed at our peak after the Bournemouth game. There have been sort of bumps in the road, so I'm not going to disregard them. And I think as a manager of Manchester United, it's important that you do look at the previous games and try to see some form of pattern. So I think the pattern for me, first and foremost, and again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, is we have been starting unbelievably slow in each game, even against Bournemouth when we beat them 5-2. Very, sorry, pardon me, very slow in the first 20 minutes. I believe we went behind in that game prior to 20 minutes. I don't think it might have been 23rd minute that they got their first goal, and then after that we eventually kicked in. I've done a watch along for that, so you can check that out as well if you want to. It's quite clear that I was pissed off prior to us actually getting our first goal. So we haven't been out the blocks, and I agree with you. There are no excuses. The players are getting a lot of money. Yes, granted, they're tired, they're fatigued potentially, but this is the business end of the season. The adrenaline needs to kick in. Your profession needs to kick in. Your desire to win needs to kick in. This is where character. This is all about the mental test. Okay, let's just, and again, I don't want to compare this to your players in the bygone era, but Roy Keane, right? He could be on his last legs, and he would drag this team to victory come Wednesday, because he knows we need the 3 points. Okay, granted, we need 3 points in both games, obviously, or potentially draw against Leicester, but big players and big characters, players who got mental strength, will drag their team regardless. It's 119th minute of the game, deep into extra time. The big players step up time and time. Look at Drogba, what he's done for Chelsea year in year after, regardless of how tired he is, he does it. And that's what our players are going to step up. We've been talking about the leaders that we've got. You mentioned Maguire. He has to step up. Maguire has to lead from the front as a captain and needs to score one of the bloody corners. He keeps missing sitters. And on top of that, his performance, he needs to lead as a captain. De Gea, yes, he's going through a bad time. We'll touch upon whether he should start or not. But again, he's experienced 10 years under his belt at Old Trafford. Yes, granted, this is probably the worst he's ever had it in his career. And I suppose someone said rightfully so. He's brought it upon himself, but they've got to step up. Bruno, captain, Pogba, you see what he's doing for France. Matic, there's leaders in that dressing room. This is their moment now. Martial and Rashford, okay, granted, they played a lot of games, but they shouldn't have to be stepping up. They have been carrying us through the last two games. A lot of people are talking about Bruno this, Bruno that. Rashford and Martial got us the win against Palace, and against Southampton, they almost got us the 3 points there. They were let down by the defence and the midfield on both those games, and Rashford in particular was let down against Chelsea by his midfield. So the midfield needs to step up as well. So I don't want to hear anyone criticising Rashford or Martial, because what are they meant to do when the ball doesn't get played to them? And when it does, it's literally a doggy run, basically, running down the wing. And then when they get it, there's literally no option. So I'm not hearing anything about the front line because they're not getting any service. We need to be creating chances of consistency. So let's talk about the game itself. You're very confident. I do agree. I don't think West Ham are going to press us. I actually think they're going to play into our hands. If they're smart, they will press us, but I just don't think they've got the capabilities and the personnel to do so, because it's not easy to do a press, especially consistently throughout a game. They might press us for like 30 minutes at the start, get in our faces, but after that, I would assume they're going to tire out, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's talk about West Ham, and then we'll talk about how we can hurt them. Who do you think the main threats from West Ham are? Of course, Antonio is obviously one of them. He's on scintillating form, to say the least. But bar Antonio, who else do you think can cause us any problems, if anyone, for that matter?
Is it Thomas Soucek?
Yeah, Soucek, yeah.
He's really good. He's got a lot of running in him as well. And he's quite a big guy as well. Also, you know what? Mark Noble, in these kind of games, that guy really bugs me. He's a dirty player as well.
I don't know if he's going to play. He always seems to play and plays unbelievable against us.
He becomes, I don't know what he becomes. So he's a bit of a weird player. Against Man United, he just turns up every single time without fail.
It must be a Liverpool fan or something deep down. He absolutely hates us.
I mean, other than that, Antonio Soucek.
Declan Rice,
yeah. As well. So, I mean, there'll be an interesting midfield battle. This is where like I said about Matic, it all depends. If he gets pressed, he can release that ball quickly. He can't take too many touches. Pretty much what he was doing a few weeks back. Just go back to that, keep it basic. And, when your team line up on that, I ain't going to change anything at all.
Okay, you go first. You go strongest 11.
No, because he has to prove himself. And this game is so important for United in the fact, like I said, about performance, because how dreadful it would be in the last 2 or 3 games. Slow starts, all that, and obviously what happened in the Cup as well. So what you need to do, you need to make a statement. Like, we're here, we're going to win, basically. and we have to earn top 4 as well. But you have to win this game rather than concentrate on the Leicester game as well.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
want to go into that last game. I think you should get top 4 in this game, and if you're gonna win big and win in style, and that's where you make that statement, and that's how you're gonna attract all the players in the summer as well. So.
So obviously you've spoken about a couple of their players. Suchek, the most notable one for me. I think a lot of people are going to talk about Antonio, and rightfully so. But I think, and I think Kojo mentioned it as well on the video that I did with him yesterday. Suchek is going to be a problem because in the air he's absolutely fantastic, and not only that, his movement as well is, well, as Kojo said, it reminds me of Hernandez. But for me personally, his movement is unbelievably good. Like he generally. Like the way he obviously uses his body, but the way he fakes a run as well and goes back tick, or he fakes a back tick and goes from post. Like you saw against Chelsea, he scored and then got disallowed and eventually scored again. He was an absolute he was an absolute problem. He's obviously quite big as well. They've got a good delivery in from wide areas, which is what I wanted to mention. I think the threat is probably from the fullbacks because Bowen for me and Cresswell have got unbelievable deliveries. I'm not sure if Bowen's a fullback actually. I might be a winger, so I do apologize. I think he might be right wing, but regardless, the delivery from wide areas are unbelievably good. Like very good delivery. Of course, they got Felipe Anderson. I don't know if he's injured or not, but Yarmolenko scoring that goal against Chelsea. He scored against us as well earlier in the season. Exactly, trademark touch, finesse into bottom corner. They've got players that can play football. For some reason, they're massively underperformed this season. As you mentioned, Declan Rice. He's going to be wanting to put in a performance. He might potentially, he's linked to Man United. He's going to want to show what he's about. But let's talk about what we're about. You did actually mention De Gea briefly. You said, okay, let's play the best team. De Gea should start. Obviously, I know a lot of people are going to probably disagree with that, but I think I would probably stay with De Gea as well. Although on Twitter, I've actually said prior to coming onto this show that I wouldn't play De Gea. So I don't actually know. I don't know where my head is with that. I'll be honest with you guys. So call me flip flop or sitting on the fence. I don't know wherever Oli does, I'll just accept it because obviously he knows the players behind, obviously closed doors. Whatever he does, I'll accept it. But I really don't know. Romero's not really filling me with much confidence after that Norwich game either. So it is what it is. Anyways, let's talk about our threats, of course. Going forward, man, I just want us to play free-flowing football. We're at Old Trafford. Get the front three interchanging again and play with no fear. Because, okay, hypothetically speaking, right? And this is how I want the mindset for the players to go into this game. I want them to think, right, that, hypothetically speaking, just say we do lose this game, which is obviously a disaster, but we can still get top 4 by beating Leicester. So play this game like there's nothing, like we've got nothing to lose in this game. It's almost like a free hit in a sense. Because we know, realistically speaking, we need to beat Leicester on the weekend anyways. Granted, mathematically, we might be able to get a draw, but we're not going to go into that game against Leicester trying to play for a draw because that would be suicide. We're going to go into that game trying to win the game. So this game, for me, is a free hit mentally, and that's what I'll be saying to the players. If I was Oli, don't worry about what happens in this game. Go out, express yourself, enjoy it, because against Leicester, we have to win that game anyways, and if we win that game against Leicester, we're in top 4 regardless. So express yourself this game. I want you guys to go back to playing football. We're at Old Trafford. We're at home ground. We're settled. We're the team in form in the Premier League. Okay, granted, that was a cup game. That doesn't mean anything in the Premier League. Every team knows to come to Old Trafford, you've got to be on your A game. Otherwise, you're going to get slapped for 4 or 5, as we've done to other teams. Even Aston Villa, we weren't good against Aston Villa. We're still hitting for 3. We could have hit for 4 or 5. So, for me personally, instill confidence in the players, even De Gea. And I agree with you. Don't make any changes. Go back to that 11 that we're all familiar with. 4-2-3-1, whatever the formation is, and just fucking go for it from the beginning. That's what I think.
I suppose if Luke Shaw isn't fit, I'll bring him for some Mensah because he looked all right. Because
but the thing is, he doesn't offer much going forward. Okay, Williams had an absolute mare.
But at least he'll help in defensive departments.
But in fact, actually, I've kind of contradicted myself here because I kind of actually want Fosu Mensah to play for Wan-Bissaka because I think Wan-Bissaka is dead on his feet. I think he's absolutely knackered. And he's I
don't know about that. I'm not sure. I think you
yeah, true. You are right, because obviously with the last 2 games, they're probably just going to have to soldier it.
In the last game. He had to be rested.
I would have played for the last game, but that's happened now.
Yeah, he's another one who has to prove himself because he's had a bit of a drop off in the last couple of games.
He's had about 3 bad games. Obviously, Adam's going to be pissed by that, but it is what it is at the minute. But
Wan-Bissaka, but yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to what they were doing prior to,
Exactly, man. Play with no fear, man. This is a bonus game, like I said. Play with no fear. Go out, express yourselves, and show why you're fucking in the Man United shirt. Simple as that. Simple as that. The only way you can react is by getting the 3 points and absolutely slapping them. It's David Moyes, mate. He got sacked at Man United because he's shit. They're coming
and
to Old Trafford.
Also, I think the captain sets the tone, and if Maguire's all like hiding away behind Lindelof, and God knows why he's gonna be, cowering and stuff like that, and not going into the challenge fully, and making some sort of statement, crunch someone, man, get Antonio on. You said I'm not having none of it. This is where, to be captain by now, you go back. You were saying about Roy Keane, bloody hell! If Roy Keane was in this team, do you think he would have killed half of the team?
Look what Chelsea were doing to us. They were leaving Mao players on the floor.
You know what? Everyone big Chelsea up. I don't think they were amazing anyway. They didn't even have Pulisic on the damn and that's their main player.
I know, but what I'm saying is they were fouling all our players deliberately.
We were so poor. We were actually poor.
They were.
But we were poor.
But what I'm saying was they were just fouling our players. They were getting in our face, and that's what we've got to do in this game. At the end of the day, free hit. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree what you said about Maguire. He needs to get straight through Antonio at the start of the game and show him you're in for a game, mate. You don't think you're coming to Old Trafford, you're gonna have a walk in the park, because this ain't flipping Norwich that you bag 4 against. This is Man United, mate. So you best be on your game, otherwise you're in my pocket, mate. And that's what he's got to do.
And that goes through the rest of the team. You think,
that's a precedent, 100%, mate. 100%.
But then he used to shout at players saying, step it up and that. Like Pogba and that in front of him, he used to, express himself a bit more. It'll just give more confidence from a captain, I think. But I think I can see Harry Maguire's got it in him and that, but it's a matter if he does.
I'm still Maguire in, man. I know a lot of people say he's X, Y, and Z, and of course I don't repeat some of the stuff that people say, the profanities. But look, at the end of the day, you're allowed to have a bad couple of games. It's whether you bounce back, and this is what character's built on. So hopefully, like was said, he'll step up here. We'll have to wait and see. Innit? Anyways, Was, to finish off, score prediction.
I'm going to stick with that 3-1, I think that's about right. I'd love it to be 4-0, but I can see us conceding. Antonio will score because he gets those dirty goals, man, all sorts of goals. He's bound to get.
That's understandable. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm sticking to my 3-0, which is what I said yesterday. I honestly think the players are going to come out to prove a point. Like I said, if Ollie gives the team talk I've given with the same amount of passion, there's no way we're not winning this game. But on the level though, free hit for us, man. Let's look at this logically. We have to win the Leicester game regardless of what happens tomorrow. Okay, people might, lose. Okay, momentum is a huge factor in this. Obviously, we need to win this game for momentum, but just to psych the players into it, just go out, enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it. It's your last game at Old Trafford this season.
We think of this, if I was Ollie, I would say to him, listen, guys, you can put the whole top 4 debate to bed in this game. Forget Leicester.
Listen, if we win 3-0 here, Leicester have to beat us.
You're in top 4, you're in Champions League. Can you imagine that mentally?
Absolutely.
You're going to come out going, you have to earn it though, at the end of the day.
Come on, boys! Come on!
Can I clip that? It's Ali.
Flipping, come on! Come out this game, firing a flipping Champions League in this game. Hit him for flipping 3 in this game. Secure the Champions League. Leicester on Sunday. That's it. Flipping secure it here at Old Trafford, mate. Let's not piss about. They're coming to the theatre of dreams. It's going to be a theatre of nightmares for them. That is as it is. Anyways, that has been your preview. Oh, come on, boys. Come on.
Guys, 400 subscribers. Show some love.
Drop a like, subscribe. Apart from that, we will be back with the fan cabs tomorrow. Obviously, whatever the videos do, play ratings, that will be live in fact, all the videos will be live tomorrow on the channel. So stay tuned if you want to get yourselves involved in the comment section live on air. Apart from that, drop a like, subscribe. It's been your boy Usmaan. Come on, United! Come on!